Hey guys, this is the Grey Jedi and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing good and having a fantastic day. If you guys do enjoy the video, please consider subscribing, hitting that notifications bell, and smashing that like button with the force down below. Anyways, with that said, let's get right into the video. So today I'm going to give you my thoughts and impressions on Season 7 of Star Wars The Clone Wars, the last season. This is an amazing time to do a review because we can see how far the show has come since 2008 with the Clone Wars movie. We have seen all kinds of different things, but what I really like about the season is that it really captured the intense war feeling which we got in the movies. Now we're going to go over all the things I liked and disliked about this last season. So if you haven't seen the 7th season of the Clone Wars and don't want to be spoiled, then be sure to click off the video right now because I'm going to get into a lot of spoilers. Now for the people that are still here, be sure to stay to the end of the video because I am going to rank this season compared to all my favorites and give it an overall score out of 10. Now to start us off, the director Dave Filoni did an absolute amazing job capturing the Siege of Mandalore. We not only got to see the arc of the Siege of Mandalore, but also two others including the Bad Batch with the return of Echo and the arc between Trace and Rafa, which further develops Ahsoka's character and mindset about the Jedi and the war. Within these three arcs, we have gotten amazing camera angles that I would have loved to seen in previous seasons, new and improved animation, Easter eggs with some fan service sprinkled in, and great storylines with amazing characters that have continued to develop. Now the first 4 episodes of the season, it was all about the Bad Batch and the return of Echo, which I gotta say was absolutely amazing. I can't believe we actually got to see Echo return and be by Rex's side again. But that's not all the cool things that has happened though. We got to see a lot of awesome action sequences that included the Bad Batch and even some action scenes with General Kenobi and Mace Windu slaughtering thousands of battle droids. Although with every show, it is not perfect and they can be improved in some way or another, and the Clone Wars is no exception. There were things I didn't like, but they were really just nitpicks. It's nothing big that ruins the season or Star Wars for me, it's just little things I wish they changed or tweaked a little bit. The first thing being how a lot of people would be able to stand in the middle of the open with no cover and no one is even getting shot. This is not so much a Season 7 problem because it has happened in other seasons as well, but it just seemed a little more obvious, present, and even exaggerated in this season. It just seems a little bit dramatic when you see a little group of clones together with no cover around them, and they're surrounded by hundreds if not thousands of battle droids shooting at them and missing. It's like they're worse than stormtroopers. For example, one instance that really got me is when Anakin and the clones were on that thin beam and there were droids on each side missing them. I know sometimes they have bad aim, but come on, they can land at least a couple of bolts when they're standing still in one place. Another thing I wish we had was a bit more backstory on the Bad Batch. I really liked them and I would have specifically loved to see what happened to them during Order 66, but that is just me wanting more Clone Wars. Also, when we did see some lightsaber fights or even the action sequences with Kenobi and Mace, it seems like their lightsabers were curving, which I thought was a bit weird and awkward. It has done this in the past, but it wasn't to this extreme. It's supposed to appear like it's moving fast, but not bending. Anyways, that's just my thoughts on how the lightsabers look to me, but maybe it's just because of the new animation style. As for the arc, I would give it a solid rating of an 8 out of 10. Now for the second arc that was in episodes 5 through 8, containing Trace, Rafa, and Ahsoka, we got to see them go on some cool adventures, but I feel like it broke some of the pacing at times. Although I still liked it and I thought it was a good arc, I just personally did not enjoy it as much as the Bad Batch arc. Now from my livestream reviews, you guys seem to share that same opinion, but I got to thinking that it wasn't as bad as some people made it out to be, because I feel like during that time, everyone was looking forward to the Siege of Mandalore arc, and there was all of this hype for it. So I can see why people would think that the Trace and Rafa arc was a waste because we only had 12 episodes, and at the time, it can seem like they're wasting the potential of the series, especially that one episode that literally felt like a waste because at the beginning they were in jail, and at the end they were in jail. They literally did not accomplish anything in that episode, But I do think it is still an important story arc because it really shows a new point of view for Ahsoka and how it showed her a new way to look at the Jedi, the Council, and how they have lost their way. Also, I bet if it wasn't a part of this last season, a lot more people would be okay with it being a part of the story. Plus, we got some pretty cool moments, character development, and build-ups from it. Now, from the second part, or the second arc of the season, I would rank it about a 7 out of 10 because it wasn't bad, but it was a slower pace and there were some improvements that could have been made. As for the last 4 episodes, the Siege of Mandalore arc, it was phenomenal. In fact, these last 4 episodes saved this season in my opinion. I thought I might be let down a little bit because of all the hype and my expectations were so high, but it blew me away. My expectations were low compared to how good it was, which really shows how good these last 4 episodes are because I am a Star Wars nitpicking freak. My favorite show is Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I didn't like any of the sequel films, but that is another topic for another time. It was so good. In fact, if the entire season was like this, then it would be my favorite Clone Wars season of all time. It had just the right amount of Easter eggs, fan service, symbolism, action sequences, character development, emotional ties, and it also coincided with Revenge of the Sith, which I thought was an amazing touch. We got to see all kinds of awesome action sequences. We got to see Maul versus Ahsoka. We got to see Mandalorians fight against the clones. We got to see Order 66 with Ahsoka and her clones turning on her, which was so emotional and heartbreaking, and so much more. If I had to choose one thing I wish they would add to this arc, is to show some more Order 66 stuff with the other Jedi, and maybe even a glimpse at Vader in the Jedi Temple going against the Jedi before his full transformation, before his fight with Obi-Wan. But they had the perfect touch with these last 4 episodes. The music, the animation, the story, everything. Everything was literally absolutely amazing. When watching this, I had so much chills and emotion throughout this entire arc. It was literally like a movie if you combine all 4 parts. They even had Ray Park and Sam Witwer for Maul this season, so we got an official Maul that we all know and love. Now, to sum it up, for this last arc, I would give a big rating of a 9 out of 10 or even a 9.5 out of 10. It was that good. Overall, this was an amazing season and I loved it, but it didn't quite make my top season. In fact, this is my 3rd favorite season out of all of them, mainly because of the Bad Batch and the Trace and Rafa arc. It's like I said before, it's not like they were bad in any way, shape, or form. It just broke up the pacing a little bit in my opinion. In fact, what carried this season so high on my list was the Siege of Mandalore arc. We got to see some pretty amazing things, but I feel like season 5 and 6 top it off a little bit because they rarely lose their pacing throughout the entire season. I would give Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 7 a solid rating of an 8 out of 10. Because it was amazing and it put me through this emotional roller coaster. Now, be sure to let me know in the comments down below what rating you would give this season. Anyways, that's it for the Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 7 review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to subscribe and smash that like button down below. I will hopefully see you guys next time, and may the Force be with you. Always.
Hello there. You are no match for me. Your move.